Chilled, I stepped back, heart racing. I wanted to retreat, but something compelled me closer, and before I knew it, I was peering into the depths of the well, my fragile reflection staring back at me amidst the shadows. I couldn't see the bottom, only an abyss that seemed to stretch infinitely downward. As I leaned closer, I heard my name murmured among the whispers, a chilling lullaby that felt familiar yet foreign. Emily, Emily. I screamed for my friends, but no sound emerged. Alone. I was utterly and profoundly alone, surrounded by the very shadows I had felt at the cabin. Suddenly, I stumbled, falling to the damp earth. As I pushed myself up, something caught my eye at the edge of the well. A figure, hazy and indistinct, emerged from the shadows. It was a woman, with sunken eyes that glimmered like dark pools of water. Her mouth opened and closed, but the whispers no longer came from the air, they came from her. "Join us," she implored, her voice hauntingly beautiful. "We have been waiting." In an instinctive surge of fear, I scrambled to my feet, my heart pounding like thunder in my chest. I dashed back the way I came, sprinting toward the distant glow of our cabin. The whispers faded behind me, but their icy fingers clutched my heart. I broke into the clearing and stumbled through the door, slamming it behind me as if it could shield me from whatever I'd just encountered. Breathless, I glanced around the dimly lit room. My friends were still asleep, blissfully unaware of the terror lurking just outside. I couldn't shake the feeling that something had followed me inside, lurking in the corners, watching and waiting. I tried to convince myself it was just exhaustion, that I had imagined it all, but every creak of the floorboards and every flicker of the candlelight set my nerves on edge. As dawn broke, illuminating the cabin with harsh light, I looked out the window, expecting to see the tranquil forest revealing its secrets. Instead, all that greeted me were the sigils etched into the trees, ancient, cryptic symbols I swore hadn't been there the night before. My friends began to wake, and as I relayed my story, their faces morphed into expressions of disbelief. "You must have been dreaming," one of them said, laughing it off. But deep inside, I knew I had touched something that was never meant to be disturbed. We spent the rest of the weekend in relative peace, by day enjoying the sunlit beauty of the forest. The whispers subsided into mere echoes of a haunting memory. But as night fell, the cabin transformed back into a fortress of shadows. On our last night, I was restless. I lay awake in the darkness, the weight of dread pressing down like a heavy blanket. Glancing around at my friends, I saw them nestled in their blankets, unaware of the cosmic darkness that loomed just outside. Sleep eluded me, and as I stared up at the ceiling, I heard them once more. "Emily." It was a gentle caress on my psyche, a seductive melody that wrapped around my consciousness. I sat up, the room spinning just slightly, and pulled the blankets tighter. "No," I told myself again and again. "You're safe." But the whispers were relentless, calling me out into the dark. I couldn't resist, the thrumming need to understand what had transpired pulled me toward the door. I moved silently, trying to keep my friends from waking, and stepped into the chill of the night. The forest was alive around me, branches swaying in the wind, shadows dancing just beyond the reach of the flickering cabin light. As I moved closer to the well, the whispers swelled, filling my mind with visions of those submerged in its depths, forever trapped between worlds. "Join us, Emily." Before I could back away, the moon was blotted by a billow of dark clouds. For a fleeting moment, I couldn't see the well. Panic surged, and as the moonlight returned, I found myself standing at the edge, staring down into the nothingness below. And there, floating mere inches from my face was a reflection, not of me, but of the woman. "Join us." And with that, some primal instinct told me all I needed to know: how the spirits of the forest clung to the living, desperately grasping for companionship in their endless void. I felt my body sway, pulled by an unseen force, and before I knew it, I was falling, tumbling into darkness, the whispers finally wrapping around me like a lover's embrace. As consciousness faded, I had one final thought: perhaps I'd never left the forest at all. Perhaps I was always meant to be part of its shadows, forever entwined in its haunting whispers, joining the chorus of lost souls who knew too well the price of curiosity. In the sands of time, my laughter may fade, but the whispering wind would forever echo my name.